ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Shock and sadness across a local school community. A beloved teacher and coach at Cathedral Catholic High School killed in broad daylight. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura spoke to those who knew Mario Fiero tonight, remembering him as a mentor on and off the field.
Those who know Mario Fiero have had nothing but good things to say about him. Here on Kansas Street near Monroe Avenue, people have been stopping by, dropping off candles and flowers. Candles flickered on the sidewalk as neighbors gathered at the spot where a man was shot dead Monday morning. This was the scene along Kansas Street near Monroe Avenue in North Park shortly after 7 a.m. Police responded to the neighborhood to find a man shot on the sidewalk. They say the victim may have been involved in some type of confrontation with another man. Police have yet to identify the victim and are looking for the person responsible. Shortly after the shooting, Cathedral Catholic High School sent out an email to families saying that one of their teachers, Mario Fiero, was killed in a suspected homicide and unfortunately died at the scene. The school canceled all classes until further notice. The school said they also increased security at the campus since the killer was still at large.
Is unreal.
Jordan Genmark Heath knew Fiero when he played football for Cathedral Catholic High. Fiero was the assistant coach, but he says Fiero was also a mentor and father figure to many of the players.
He was always there for you if you needed you to watch some extra film or if you needed some help with gear, stats, game plan. He offered rides for guys who, struggled to get home after practice and whatnot, went out of his way. So just an extremely kind and thoughtful soul.
Monday evening, dozens of people attended a prayer service for Fiero. This was at St. Therese of Carmel Church in Carmel Valley. They were there to remember a teacher and coach that they say was so much more to so many people.
And I'm just in disbelief to see how many people were a part of his family and are here for him, and to know how his life was spent and how we all loved him.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
There is a fund started to help the family. We have a link on our website, 10news.com.
It's the promise of California, the promise of you.
Just announced this evening, former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer is officially making a run for governor. ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano shows us how the timing of his announcement is right in line with the statewide recall effort of Governor Gavin Newsom.
Kevin Faulconer is a big name here in San Diego, but does he have enough brand name power to appeal to the rest of the state? Political analysts believe that he's definitely going to have to appeal to voters on both sides.
We can clean up California, and it starts at the top.
San Diego's former top dog Kevin Faulconer has his eyes set on the state's top seat. He's hoping to replace Governor Gavin Newsom.
He's failed us year after year.
Faulconer's announcement comes just as the Newsom recall movement is picking up steam. Randy Economy, who represents the Recall Gavin 2020 movement, says out of the 1.5 million signatures needed for a recall election, the group has already collected more than 1.3 million.
Right now is the time, and this is the recall, and he will be held accountable and he will be removed.
UCSD Political Science Chair Thad Kauser believes Faulconer is hoping to swoop in via recall election for two reasons. One, a recall means he doesn't have to run in the Republican primary. And two,
a recall would catch Gavin Newsom when he's not ready, right? When he's still vulnerable due to the pandemic.
Kauser believes it is a long shot for a Republican to win the governor's seat in a strong blue state. But with Faulconer being a moderate California Republican, Kauser believes Faulconer may be the big hope for the state GOP.
Someone who's low tax, but socially moderate. Someone who's more in line with California voters on issues like global climate change and on immigration.
Earlier this month, when Faulconer announced he was officially joining the recall movement, Dan Newman, who represents Governor Newsom, released a statement that reads in part, "The Trump train doesn't want to leave the station, but Kevin Faulconer is all aboard." Faulconer is joining other Trump supporters who want taxpayers to waste $100 million on a special election redo, mere months before a regularly scheduled election. Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
If enough signatures are gathered by March 17th, political analysts believe that a recall election could take place as soon as July of this year.
Turning now to coronavirus, the East County is getting a vaccination superstation starting tomorrow. It will be a walk-up site at the Grossmont Center shopping mall in La Mesa. It'll be open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6, and appointments are required.
And the La Mesa Superstation will be the fourth in the county. A North County Superstation opened yesterday, joining locations already up and running in Chula Vista and downtown's Petco Park. Yet some people say they're finding it impossible to get vaccinated. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala goes in depth to find out why.
I've tried every day, off and on, throughout the day.
And if I got up in the middle of the night for any reason, I would try.
Multiple attempts at scheduling an appointment to get a COVID-19 vaccine anywhere in the county and no end result. 74-year-old Claire Jackson lives in University Heights and 78-year-old Judy Erickson lives in Fallbrook. They've both been trying for weeks at all hours of the day, and they're not alone. ABC 10 News received several emails from viewers experiencing the same problem.
The worst thing for me is sitting with my iPad for 3 hours and trying to get on, because by the time I'm off, I'm crying.
The county launched the website VaccinationSuperstation.sd.com. There, people are given the option to click on where they live in the county on this map. Then the closest vaccination sites pop up. You're then redirected depending on the location.
You have two sites, Petco Park and Chula Vista, that have their own reservation systems. You have My Turn, which encapsulates all of the other 10 or so vaccination sites. We are going to migrate them all into the same system.
After filling in your information, if you are eligible to be vaccinated right now, you select an appointment date and time, or at least that's how it's supposed to work.
I've tried the County of San Diego. I've tried My Turn.
So why aren't people finding available appointments if there are new pods popping up in 3 superstations from the South Bay to the North County?
We don't have enough vaccines. It's just that simple.
County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says this is a supply and demand problem. If you're not finding available appointments, there's not enough doses.
We have more than 1 million San Diegans that are trying to get appointments when we only have a handful of vaccines. And so I'm frustrated there's not more vaccines available.
Fletcher says the county never knows in advance when it'll be getting a shipment of vaccines or how many vials there will be. The vaccination sites are set up to be ready to go when more vaccines do come in, but right now it's a waiting game.
There is a fair probability that we could run out of vaccines this week and have to pause everything that we're doing.
At that point, Fletcher says those waiting to get a second dose will still be scheduled, but first dose appointments will be paused. He urges people to continue trying, as more vaccines could become available any day of the week. But hitting refresh over and over again with no luck is causing some to lose hope.
I have given up. I'm not angry with anybody. I just wish somebody could come up with a much better way of handling it.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Tomorrow, our in-depth team will dig into the issues that many San Diegans are facing getting their second dose appointments. ABC 10 News has more in-depth stories on the vaccine rollout, along with how-to guides on scheduling appointments and a breakdown of the different vaccines. You'll find it all on the homepage of 10news.com. We also want to hear your vaccine rollout stories and questions. Just send us an email to tips@10news.com.
Our daily case numbers today were the lowest we have seen in more than a month. The 1,082 new cases brings our total to 239,000. No new deaths were reported today, which is typical for a Monday, so that total stays at 2,600.
President Joe Biden's massive $1.9 trillion COVID relief proposal could pass even without Republican support. Today, a group of 10 GOP senators met with Biden in the Oval Office. The Republicans have proposed a $600 billion plan. They want to scale down Biden's proposed income threshold for direct payments. Biden may be willing to negotiate the point, but he's likely to remain steadfast about increasing the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour.
If you listen to economists across the political spectrum, they say that given the big hit to the economy we saw in the last quarter, it's important to go big here.
Senate Democrats could use a tool called reconciliation in order to pass the bill with a simple majority rather than 60 votes.
Taking a live look right now at these snowy conditions in Philadelphia. This is the biggest nor'easter in years to batter the Northeast tonight. More than 2 feet of snow could fall across the area through tomorrow. Those whiteout conditions have turned the roads into a dangerous mess. Drivers across the region have been told just to stay home.
Even if you deploy all the plows in frequency, you can't keep the roads clear.
More than 1,600 flights have been canceled, and the storm has derailed efforts to ramp up COVID vaccinations. Inoculation sites from New York to Boston, they are closed at least through tomorrow.
The investment app Robinhood says it's raised the money that it needs in the wake of the GameStop controversy. Last week, individual investors banded together and used the Robinhood app to buy up GameStop stock. Well, they did that to take advantage of a big risk made by a Wall Street hedge fund, but it also meant the company behind the app needed to front a lot of money from those trades. And that's one reason why they slowed down trading. The company now says that it's raised between $2 and $3 billion that it needs. An internal investigation into the shooting of a San Diego woman who stormed the Capitol last month found that the officer who shot her should not be charged. The officer opened fire when Ashley Babbitt tried climbing through a broken window to get into the halls of Congress while members were being evacuated. The Wall Street Journal is reporting the investigation recommends no charges against the officer. Ultimately, the Justice Department will decide whether charges will be filed.